Yo, what is up, everybody? So let's go back again. Another chapter from the story titled The Haunting on X Avenue, written by Joshua Kimball. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author. Like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 12. I got back to my sister's place, gung-ho about smudging the house, when my sister informed me that she smudges it pretty regularly anyway. She thanked me for the extra stage stick. Silly me. After dinner, my wife, sister, and her husband left their kids at the house with our mom. While we went out to one of the local bars to talk about what was happening at the house on X Avenue, it took me a few hours to tell them everything in detail and answer questions. But after I did, completed my report to them, they looked back at me in shock. My wife broke the silence. Honey, I want to end this right now. I'm scared. That isn't a problem, sweetie. Bob has turned this over to a medium, Alicia, and it is out of my hands. Pastor Randall has agreed to play wingman for her tomorrow at noon. I am out of it. He looked relieved. We all spent the rest of the night laughing, reminiscing, and trying to forget about the unpleasantness of the haunted house. A little after midnight, we drove back to my sister's house for sleep. We noticed that there were no lights. Street lights, no house lights, entire neighborhood, and no light in the house. My mom and niece ran frantically out the front door when they saw our headlights. Can't find Jeffrey. Looked all over the house. Under the bed, in the garage. He's not here. Why didn't you call us? All the phones are out. I have no house line, cell phone, or power. I couldn't call. Mom, alright. You stay here at the house. Everyone else split up. Start checking the neighborhood. Then we fanned out, calling for Jeffrey. On a strange hunch, I checked my phone. Seeing that it was working, I called Alicia. She picked up on the first ring. You need to get to the house now. Your nephew is there. Look, I'm on my way. My stomach rolled, and I had to force myself to focus so as not to throw up. I yelled to everyone, "Get to the car. He's at the house." I heard someone ask, "At home?" I started running to the car. "No! The house on X. Run!" We jumped into Rick's, my brother-in-law's Jeep, peeled out for the house. It was only a 5 to 10 minute drive. We were going to make it in 3. And if it drew the police, the more the merrier. On the way, I called Bob, and my sister called Pastor Randall. Both stated that they were on their way. As we pulled to the house, Alicia's car was already there. She was pounding on the jammed front door with a smoking stage bundle in her clutched fist. We piled out of the Jeep and called out for Jeffrey as loud as we could. The residents in the neighborhood came out of their front doors to see what was happening. There were no lights on in the houses or the street lamps, and our cell phones immediately made a loud pop and powered out. It's killing the lights. Just then, Bob's truck rolled up and I could see Randall's Saturn coming down the road. The Saturn's headlights blew out and its engine stalled and died. Randall got out and ran the rest of the way. Rick and I slammed our shoulders to the front door, trying to force it open, while Randall and Bob ran to the back door. On the 5th slam, we bashed the door open and kicked it till the bolts of the hinges torn out of their frame. The door wasn't getting slammed shut again. The woman entered, passing what remained of the door, and ran from room to room downstairs, calling for Jeffrey. We heard the back door bash open. Randall and Bob stumbled into the kitchen. Randall looked at my sister and said, "Not out back." Rick started running up the stairs, calling his son's name. An invisible force knocked him forward, started dragging him back down the stairs. "Alright, look, you get him and I'll go up. Maybe this thing can only do one thing at a time," I said, jumping over Rick as I headed up the stairs as fast as I could run. But Rick's feet dropped and I felt cold ice wrap around my body, and my legs and arms were sapped of strength. I weakly continued to climb the stairs. Unseen hands grabbed my ankles, and I was dragged backwards. My head collided with each step. I was pretty dazed as I reached the floor below. Then my sister screamed as various spiders began to skitter out of every little hiding hole in the house. They dropped from the ceiling, dangling from their webs. Randall and Bob ran up the stairs, quick single file. Bob got knocked backwards, but Randall caught him on the first try. The second hit knocked them both backward, and they tumbled over each other down the stairs. A black widow landed on Randall as it repelled from the ceiling and bit his arm. He cried out in burning pain. I felt a searing pain on my back as I imagined that I just got bitten as well. Everyone started swatting their clothes and screaming in terror and pain. The woman ran out of the house screaming, while Rick and I dragged Randall and Bob out there while we're both knocked out from their tumble down the stairs. The neighbors ran up to the porch, started checking the two unconscious men for any injuries. Bob stared and asked in a weary voice, "What happened?" "Bob, I'm going to do something drastic to get my nephew out of the house." "Good." My sister and her husband were staring at the house in fury. "My baby is in there." I turned to Alicia. "Look, give me all the sage bundles that you have." I ran to the Jeep and detached 1 gallon of gas can from the back and fished around for a book of matches in the glove box. Alicia was waiting for me at the rubble that was the front door. She had a proper grocery sack with 8 sages bundles in it. I looked at Rick. "You, be ready to run upstairs when I light this." I took the cap off the can and I placed it in a paper bag with sage. I ran back to the house where the cellar crawl space was and poured some of the gasoline downhill to the opening of the cellar. Tossing the bag inside, I lit the book of matches and threw it on a gas trail. As it caught, I yelled, "Yeah, smudge this, you evil piece of scum. Go, Rick, go!" Now, ladies and gentlemen, is the end, chapter 12.